welcome to another episode of Into the Minds of Madness. I am certified scaredy cat Paul McWhirter. Sitting with me is your horror aficionado, Chris Dicker.
Hello there.
How are ya?
Very well. Very well.
Very well.
This is another special episode.
Yeah. We've been lucky in the last couple of weeks to be able to get some really funny, entertaining people on this podcast.
Yeah, I'm still kind of in shock that it's happened.
Yeah, it is. It's
pretty awesome.
It's a bit strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we had Justin Hamilton last week. This week, we have the all-Australian comedy bad boy, Nick Capper.
Nick Capper.
One of the nicest men in the world.
Oh, yeah, absolute pleasure.
Yeah. So
nice to be around.
Yeah, so I got to meet him in Koh Samui earlier in the year with the Dum Dum Club. He's moved to Melbourne. He was a Sydney boy for about 6 years, and I got to see him a fair bit in Sydney back in the day. So it's just nice to have him back in Sydney, doing shows, because he is one of the best.
Oh,
one of the best.
Such a weird energy. Like this shit he goes on with is so weird, but it's just you can't compare him to another comedian.
No, you really can't.
He's his own thing.
Yeah. And I got to see our show, Chrome Doggy, the night after we recorded this.
You lucky bastard.
My lord, what a show.
All I saw was those short shorts, and I'm like, man, I missed out. Yeah. I missed out on something.
It was fucking great. It was awesome. So, as we said last week with Justin Hamilton, that Kappa had a show at Green Lights Comedy.
Yep.
So that's kind of how all this happened. We recorded the podcast just before the show.
Yeah.
So this is before the show. The Hammer one was after the show.
This is in the different section with some sick beats being dropped.
So if you haven't listened to Nova in the last 6 months, this will catch you up on all the top 20 hits.
And you can hear a group of suits having their team. Team building.
Like a team building exercise on a Friday night.
Lots of clapping, lots of booting.
Yeah. So you can hear that in the background, but it just gives this episode a bit of atmosphere, you know? Yeah.
No, we edited it all in, guys.
Yeah.
we were actually in a soundproof room.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And then we went out to the Gaelic Club and just recorded the background noise.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But as you'll be able to hear, we get a lot of fun out of that anyway.
Yeah.
So there was some interesting characters in that group. So
I think there was a stunt double for The Matrix. What was the second one?
Yeah.
Reloaded?
Yes, I'm pretty sure it was for the second one. Yeah. Just with a little extra flair.
Flair is right.
Yeah. So guys, enjoy this episode with Nick Capper. We kind of just talk some absolute shit.
Yeah, talk about the best shit. 80s action movies, horror, Reanimator.
Yeah.
Random awesome stuff.
Yeah, so we just talked about a lot of random shit. So enjoy the episode, guys. We'll be back and do some pluggers and stuff like that at the end. So enjoy this episode with, as I said, the all-Australian comedy bad boy himself, Nick Capper.
Enjoy.
All right, so we're here at the Gaelic Club in the upstairs part of the pub. We've got a pretty damn good vibe going on in here. It's all right. Pretty sweet music going on.
Yeah.
Not usual podcasting background.
Yeah.
But that's all right.
Where do you guys usually record this? Everywhere?
I've built a studio in the backyard.
Oh, right. Man.
In his garage. So.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's half the battle, having a studio.
That voice you're hearing is the guy touring Chrome Doggy at the moment.
Yeah.
About to finish it all off. The quantum bad boy himself.
Yep.
Mr. Nick Capper.
You heard right.
How are you doing, man?
Good, man. Good. Yeah, it's good to be in Sydney. I love it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, this isn't where you're originally from, but you spent a lot of time here, didn't you?
Yeah, I was here for 6 years. Yeah.
6 years,
yeah.
This is where you kicked off.
Yeah, it's good, man. Yeah, it's where I started my first gigs. I did a gig here at the Gaelic Club. Was here once when I was a travel agent. They used to put on parties here for people. They just used to wholesalers just used to ply travel agents with drinks. And I don't know what they're doing up there. They're clapping, playing some clap.
Yeah, they're excitable up there, aren't they?
Oh man, that's crazy. It sounds like a real after-work vibe.
Yeah, I mean, that was the other thing. I was like, it's usually not too bad around this area around like 5 o'clock. And I'm like, oh, it's Friday. It's Friday, yeah. Yeah, there's probably a few going away. There's probably a few birthdays. Probably slept with the boss or something.
Yeah.
Climbing the corporate ladder. So yeah, claps all around. Well done.
Someone's relation says it's going to be a family broken tonight.
Yeah. Too true.
Yeah.
Too true. So what I wanted to do first off is just to show Chris, just to give a bit of an idea of the kind of posters that you do. The poster for Chrome Doggy. Have you seen that, Chris?
That is a thing of beauty.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
That's awesome.
it was really inspired by Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite films ever. Love Arnold Schwarzenegger. Hugest fan of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah.
That is absolutely incredible, man.
Oh, thanks, man. Did you see my other one?
I've seen a few of yours actually.
Yeah.
That's where I was. But you had one that I think it was you were aping Rambo, was it?
Yeah, it was kind of
A
like
few years ago.
Yeah, there was I wanted to do like kind of like I guess like a 90s cop kind of style one. I guess it's like Action Jackson or something like that. You know, like one of those. Yeah. So I did that one. It's good. I know Photoshop, so I'm a graphic designer as well. So
By trade.
Yeah. So I take the photos, and then it's so good, man. The internet. You're like, okay, how to 80s style poster, and then there's usually some 4-year-old kid who teaches you it on YouTube. He's like, yeah, this is what you do with this filter, you know, and you can do it, you know, as long as you got the vision in your head.
Yeah.
So I learn more and more each poster I do.
Yeah.
Well, like I do all the promos for us, it's the same sort of thing. It's like
Yeah.
each time, like, it's a little bit better.
Yeah.
A little bit better every time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to the promo for this one because it can just be some of Nick's Photoshop skills, like just enveloped in yours.
Nice.
Yeah, man, I'll have to check out your stuff. A big influence is, and I read an article the other day that it's coming back, is horror movie posters. I follow a lot of graphic designers on the internet because it's a big thing now to do your spin on an old horror movie poster. So they'll have like a really good illustrator, and then he or she will go, okay, this is my version of Alien, and it's sick. And you got to see the movie again.
Yes.
I think I've watched Alien or Aliens like 3 times, you know, like just from seeing the poster again, you know. And so that's coming back. So I really wanted to put that in my. I wanted people to get excited about my post. Get excited about the show.
It's
you
like
know.
a forgotten art almost. People are just like, it's a poster. It's just something you got to put out. It's like, no, put some effort. Like it's nice to see that.
Yeah, and they are the real artists. Like people who do posters, and in my opinion, they are, because the perspectives and everything they use takes such vision, and so as a guy who draws. Perspective and getting the right different perspectives and capturing your vision is so hard. Like it's so tough.
To sum up an entire movie in one like A3 size paper post, that's fucking hard to do.
Also giving it that mad flow, like the Baby Driver one, it looks so
that
sick.
Was outstanding.
I was like, okay, I want to see this movie. You know, it's got that really mad flow, the way it all joins together.
Yeah,
you know?
It feels like an old like 70s like car chase movie or something like that, like Driver or something like that. Like it has that kind of. You can tell he's influencing that.
And now in our days, like it's so good that it's all coming back because it was a forgotten art. Like people were using Photoshop and everything. And now people are coming back to my era. I'm like 34, where like everything was overhyped. You know, like if you had a poster of like Street Fighter or something, that had all the characters together, all fighting. You know, like for a video game cover. And you put the cartridge in, and it was just like all made out of squares. You know, quite 2D.
Totally pixelated.
But it got you excited for it.
Yeah,
you know?
it still did, didn't it?
Yeah.
I like a lot of those old video games, actually, speaking of Street Fighter, where you see all the kind of, the opening, I guess, title card would be all those pixels coming together and be like, into the main thing. We're like, yes, we're here. Press start. Yes, let's go.
Yeah, man. I love all of that stuff. Really into it. Yeah.
So you've done it's not as active at the moment, but you have a podcast called Reloaded 2000, right? Is that right?
Yeah,
Reloaded
yeah.
2000 with
That's-
Jack Drews?
Yeah, that's where we just come up with sequels to movies. Yeah,
Which I think is one of the fucking greatest ideas.
That's the best name.
yeah. It was.
Spot on.
Oh yeah, thanks, man. Thanks. We did a show called Reloaded 2000.
Oh, is that where the podcast came from?
Kind
or
of,
was
yeah.
it the opposite way around?
Yeah, we just loved. He knew I loved, 80s, 90s movies, things like that. So yeah, we became obsessed with it. And we're obsessed with overhyping everything and
Yeah.
making it,
Just going totally over the top with it.
yeah, things like I love things like Sister Act 2.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like where they had this, had a great movie, the first one. Nuns that started singing to win back the church. And then for some reason it goes on this weird spin where they're like running a school full of bad people, and they got to resurrect these teenagers, like a heartwarming story. And you're like, man, where did this come from? You know what I mean?
Who thought this had to come together?
That's what's so weird about 80s and 90s movies, is especially Sylvester Stallone ones. Because he started off Rocky and Rambo, which were both quite art house independent films.
Sure, they were taken very seriously.
Yeah, for Rocky, he there's a lot of variations of this story,
Right.
Okay, yeah.
but he was very broke, and someone offered him 40 grand to buy the script, and they said, but you're not going to be in it, and he said, no, I want to be in it.
Right.
I've got to be in it. And he was so broke, he sold his dog. Sold his dog. I don't know. I think he sold it for $80 or something like that. And then,
Just hocking his dog.
yeah, he sold it. I don't know how correct the story is. I've heard different variations of it. But apparently he went back. He sold it at a liquor store, and he went back and he waited outside the liquor store for weeks on end for someone to come back with his dog. Like on the off chance, and they came back, and he bought it back off him for 12 grand or something like that.
Oh
Like,
my
yeah,
God.
Shit.
Yeah, yeah. That's but it's crazy how Rambo is like a really deep art house film where it's like about a veteran struggling with his identity,
Yeah,
not
PTSD.
knowing. Yeah, man.
And then you go to the next one. What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Why are we
yes.
killing like
Yeah.
20 people?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he's like in the third one, he's like helping out Afghanistan. Now that's just forgotten about. They're like, they put that on the shelf. They're like, we never helped Afghanistan.
Did you watch? You seen like the most recent one? Like I think it was Rocky 4 or 5, Rambo 4 or 5. I think it was.
No.
Wasn't it just called Rambo?
I think so. He must have killed like 400
No,
people.
I'm thinking of just Balboa. Wasn't it just Balboa from Rocky?
Oh, that's Rocky. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of.
But the fourth Rambo one, I think it's just called Rambo.
It's just called
Yeah.
Rambo?
But that was ridiculous. Like he didn't have a line to say. It was just kill everything. It must
Oh
have been
man,
like 300
I want to watch it. I love.
Good fun, but
It's so like I have a talent for it. Jack Bruce and I and a few of our other mates that are comics, we have a night where we sit around, watch a bad film, but it's got to be the right kind of bad.
Right.
It's got to be. It
Yeah.
can't be too painful because we've made a few mistakes.
oh yeah.
Like Noah, but was awful. Like that Noah movie.
One with
Yeah,
Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe and
that
son.
did look pretty
Awful
bad.
choice.
And Hermione from Harry Potter.
Yeah,
Should
yeah.
never live that down.
Yeah.
Sure,
That was pretty awful. But then there's just some killers like The Man with the Iron Fist, written by Jizza from the Wu-Tang Clan.
Oh,
that,
yes.
Oh man,
that looks terrible. Like, it's
so
the
good to
best way.
take the piss out of.
Yeah.
It's got Russell Crowe in it. He plays this British kind of guy who's a big slob who has hookers all the time. And there's real weird. It's like a kid. You know when you're in second grade and you write a movie, like you write a story
Yeah.
in creative writing, and it's always you, and you're like, someone takes your lady and you beat the shit.
Car and then I beat up the bad guy. And
This is exactly the way
Save the damsel in distress.
this
yeah.
film is written, and it's so good. And it's got Russell Crowe undercover in one bit. And he's wearing this Chinese hat, one of those pyramid hats. But he's, he's the only guy in the village wearing one. It's like,
so your logo's like, mate,
yeah.
I don't even wear that
what
shit.
the fuck is that white guy wearing a hat for? That was a really good one. Also, he's got a few more. He's had a few more out since, but Mel Gibson's Get the Gringo. fucking
Oh.
awesome.
I have heard good things about that.
Oh
actually.
man,
Yeah.
it is so fucking shit. Like, but so great. Like, I want to watch it again. I want to watch his new action. So I saw a few new action ones he's got out that are, but it's so good. He's like a,
Woo!
yeah.
They're
they're-
having fun over there.
That's a real get together.
That is a real
Work
get
party.
together. That is a real get together.
Come
Good
on,
on
name
him.
it though. That one you're talking about, like he seems to do like a serious one and then like
Yeah.
a blow off one. where
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just
Oh
shooting
man,
shit.
get the Gringo. It's so good.
Yeah.
He like goes to this prison. He works it out. He's in like this tough Mexico prison, and you know what I mean. He works his way straight away. He's helping a mum in there with a kid. You know what I mean? And he's got to help her out. And, you know,
Yeah,
and
he's
it's
got the-
so good. He's
the
work-
white beard and like the unbuttoned shirt and shit like that.
Yeah, he's like, and he's worked it all out already, like how to bloody, you know, like how to survive in the prison and
He's
stuff
all
like
over
that.
it from the word go.
Yeah.
He just.
For anyone who can't see us, one of the guys who just walked out of the work party.
Oh,
saw
I
him
was
too?
looking at him before.
Whoa.
He's got a bright pink shirt on, a bright pink button-up long sleeve shirt.
Yeah,
He's got big dreads. Did it?
huge dreads, like really long. Yeah.
Did it have one of those like oversized hair ties
He's got a scrunchie.
to pull it back, like to not even to pull it back, just to pull. So
Let
it
everyone
sta-
knows
so
that
it
he's got blonde dreads.
So
Yeah,
it
yeah.
stays over his back of his shoulders, and that's about it. And he's
He's got a white coat as well, and a white tie, doesn't he? Does he have a
I
white-
saw the white tie, but I didn't
Yeah,
see the white
He's
coat.
got like a white coat and a white tie. Definitely, it looks like he's definitely the right hand man of some.
He's the millennial Pink Panther.
Yeah,
right
yeah,
there,
yeah.
Oh,
right
God.
there. Oh my god.
He's the guy that always gets killed, probably in around the third or the fourth act. You know, just
Yeah.
before about to kill the big boss.
Yeah.
You know,
He's the
shooting
big
his
boss's
mouth off.
right hand man
Yeah,
for
yeah.
so long, and then he just like, you're too easy, and then
Yeah.
something weird happens, like a batarang comes around the back and just chokes him weirdly. He's gonna die. He'll die in the weirdest way as well.
He's always really whiny, like Starscream in the
Yeah.
Transformers. You know what I mean? Like always, just a whiny villain's right hand man that's always got a problem with everything. You're
Yeah,
like,
he's never happy. Like,
but
no
then
matter
again,
what
if it was up to Megatron, he'd just blow it. He'd just
Yeah.
do something big. You need a whiny assistant to kind of tone you down.
But
you know?
also with that kind of costume, he's definitely comic relief as well.
yeah.
So
He's definitely got a few weaknesses, like the ladies and the
yeah,
dogs.
yeah.
The right hand man, they've always got a few weaknesses to the
Well,
ladies and the
with
dogs.
the amount of white he's wearing, it might be cocaine.
I was just
Yeah,
about to
yeah,
say that.
yeah,
He
yeah.
does look like
That
he's
might
got
be the weakness.
He does look like he's nipped to the bathroom to get,
Yeah,
readjusted.
yeah. That's probably where he's just dipped off to as well.
There's always a scene where the boss tells him to get his act straight. You know what I mean? Like it's like,
Yes, yeah.
"Oi, you're always with the fucking babes. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it's like after like the heroes killed like 20 people. It's like,
Yeah.
how did one guy do that?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
need to put
Yeah.
your act together.
Yeah.
put that shit down. Get your fucking act together.
It's probably at a point where he pulls us to the door and throws it on the ground. All these bags of cocaine just pop out and be like, what do you think this is?
Yeah.
Just freaks out and runs off.
That magic.
Well, I actually wanted to mention your shirt. Oh, there he is.
Beautiful.
Look at the way he walks too.
Yeah.
He's
Like
a,
being on safari and seeing like gazelle or something like that.
he's
like,
a
whoa, look at that.
specimen of a man.
Man, I reckon it's like, because they're playing this clapping game, right? And it's got a guy like him. Definitely, I reckon it's like help desk work. You know what I mean? Like on the phones,
This is
sales.
an exercise the boss has already figured out. Like,
Yeah,
This is probably like an improv exercise they do every morning
yeah.
before they kick off. Like, but I wanted to talk about you. That looks like an Iron Maiden shirt right there.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
It does have an Eddie vibe.
It's like
about
a
it.
burning skull thing. I bought it on the Gold Coast. There's not like you go to the Gold Coast, man. So many gold shirts there. Of just they're like, I don't know. It's like someone had a brain fart. They're just like, what's the fuckest thing you could draw on a t-shirt? They're like, what about a guy that plays baseball? That's pretty rebellious. And I'm like, yeah. What about a guy and it's a skeleton playing
Oh,
baseball?
you've got something here, mate.
Yeah.
Put some nails on that bat.
Yeah. Put some nails
in a
Make sure something's on fire. The ball's got to be on fire.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like a Roger Corman sort of thing. Like, that's not enough blood, not enough this. More.
Yeah. Oh,
I-
man. Yeah.
I'm surprised that you didn't say that you found that in Koh Samui. because
Yeah.
that's where we met.
Yeah.
In case we were a little Dum Dum Club.
Yeah.
I nearly wore one of my tie-dye shirts tonight.
Yeah.
Put on my purple tie-dye shirt from Thailand. I'd worn it once and washed it, and it came up to halfway up my gut. So that would have been a beautiful look. But
You would have got a lot of attention tonight.
Yeah, you would have, yeah.
I think I might have.
You were the claps would have been for you.
Oh,
I don't-
yes.
I don't know if you could outdo Dread White Coat Man though.
Oh.
Yeah, no one can really outdress
Yeah,
that guy.
I'm determined to find out his name by the end of the night.
Yeah,
I'm
fucking score
determined.
something off him.
I'm determined.
Yeah.
So, so when we were in Koh Samui, when we met, we talked about how much of a fan of action movies you are. And like, so you're not a huge horror movie fan, but you love like the actiony horror kind of stuff.
Yeah, I love those. I'm starting to come around to horror now.
You are?
I do. I'd love. I guess there's so many zombie movies.
Yeah.
It turned me off horror a bit and vampires and stuff. Like I just.
Yeah, we
It was
had
a
like
bit-
a serious like overload of zombie movies.
Yeah.
Like 2010 upwards. And yeah, I even got tired of it. It was just like there was one Goal of the Dead, and it was about soccer zombies.
Oh
And I
yeah.
watched it. I'm like, oh, I wish I didn't watch that.
Sure, it wasn't called Goal of the
It
Dead.
was probably. I think
Yeah.
it was Spanish or something
Yeah.
like that.
The,
as well.
There's been some real crackers. The one I really loved was the one with Simon Baker and Dennis Hopper in it. What was that? Land of the...
Oh, yeah.
Land of the Dead.
Yeah, that
George
was
Romero.
awesome. Loved
That was
it.
really good.
Yeah,
Thank you. Like you're the only person I've met. It's like that was a good movie.
yeah.
Most people, like, rip on it.
I thought it was incredible, like just how it was a great comment on society, you know, the rich and the...
Yeah.
And the thing I loved about George Romero was and a lot of the old directors is... I don't want to sound like a whiny bitch or anything. Like, the new guys don't know how to do it, because I love the new directors as well. But back then, they had really cool, kooky characters. Like
Yes.
George A. Romero, he'd always put in someone that was like in that one. He's got the guy who carries around just a normal farmer's rifle, and he always licks the top of the gun.
Yeah, he's got like the burnt face.
Yeah, the burnt face.
Yeah.
And things like little things like that, like is great. You know, like not to, but. Yeah, that's what I love. I love that stuff is when they've got like a kooky character, and just when you've got great casting,
Yes.
like Dennis Hopper as the bad guy.
You can't really go wrong with Dennis Hopper.
As a rich bad guy.
Yeah.
You know, and Simon Baker, he was walking through it, but it was great. You know, he was.
That's pretty true.
He didn't need to be any good because you know. Yeah.
He needed to be that white guy just to say the lines, shoot the zombies, get the story going. It's like, yeah, I wanted his best mate to be the main character almost.
I think I like that one as well because it captured the real horror of an apocalypse. Like it was a.
Yeah, they kind of like settled. They've gotten over the main infection, and now it's
Yeah.
like, all right, I've got a tower, I can do what I want and make it society and stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah, I loved the Danny Boyle ones as well. 28 Days
28
Later.
days and 28
Pretty
weeks.
great,
Yeah.
Really good. I liked how the zombies moved really fast.
Yeah.
I thought that was
like
awesome.
I remember a lot of people were like, it's still, even George Romero's like, nah, zombies don't go fast. But it's like, that's still a really scary movie.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'll give it what it is.
Very
And
scary.
what's the name for Trainspotting? Begbie, whatever Begbie's name. The guy playing in 28 Days Later.
Yeah.
Him in that movie is just, I'm blown away by him.
Yeah.
Every time because I
He's the father he restarts the infection, isn't he?
yeah, and he's the one
Yeah.
who gets away at the end. Yeah, he's the who ends
Yeah.
up leaving his fucking family there and just does the bolt.
I gotta rewatch 28 Weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've forgotten.
Well, 28 Days, and then he's the main bad guy in 28 Weeks. He's the main zombie in 28 Weeks.
That's
When the Americans come in. Yeah.
like I watched World War Z with Brad Pitt.
I haven't
and-
seen
and-
World War Z actually.
And it was like it's missing all of those things that George A. Romero put in, and
Yeah.
like cool characters, you know, like
Yeah.
funny and yeah, just like one guy's a bit odd or you know something like that is so good, you know. It was all so present, especially in the but now I'm a bit late to horror movies now because I never got the comedy of it. Now that I do, like I watched The Reanimator,
Yeah.
and I was like sick.
So he's wearing his reanimated shirt right
Had
there.
to.
Man,
Had
yeah.
to dress correctly.
So
We talked
good.
about Reanimator in Koh Samui.
Well, yeah, that's it. I mean, I think you go through a phase where you're too cool for movies. You think, oh, Reanimator, okay. the bad guy gets his head back on now. You know, you don't realise that the stupidity is half the fun of it.
100%.
And then when you get a bit older, you come around. You're like, oh, sick, this is really funny. I remember watching it with my ex-girlfriend. She was into horror movies.
Yeah.
And we just thought it was so great. We're like, that's a fucking good movie. And she was like, she was, or, you know, she still is, you know. she's a intellectual, you know what I mean? Like, she was like a high-class lawyer. And she's like, watch the reanimated. So that was a great movie. Like, it had everything that, you know, because, once again, I don't want to preach too much. Great cast.
Yeah.
Has a couple of kooky characters. The bad guy is so good. Like,
That's what it needs, isn't it?
I rewatched the documentary about it last night, like the making of, and it's just exactly what you said. Like, it's just all in the casting, and like Jeffrey Combs' character of Herbert West was only supposed to be like a tiny character. Yeah,
but right.
Once he was on set and he had that presence. They're like, oh, the movie's about Herbert West now. Like, he brought, and same with the I can't remember the name of the main villain from it. The doctor who gets his head chopped off. All that sort of stuff. It's like they needed that. And to play it serious as well. It's like that. I think that's why it lands. Because they are serious. Like, it's.
Oh man, yeah.
But
exactly.
Yeah, and like it just. What's the line? Cat dead, details later. Like, when he's talking about, like, you know, when they find that, like, Herbert's killed the cat because he wants to reanimate it. You haven't seen Reanimate.
No, I haven't seen Reanimate.
He kills the cat because he wants to reanimate it. Proves to Dan that he can reanimate dead tissue and all that. And this is the whole thing where his girlfriend finds it. And Herbert's like, what did you expect me to do? Like, leave a note that said cat dead, details later? Like, and like with the doctor, he finally has like the final showdown with the doctor. He's decapitated and all that, and reanimated. it's like, who's going to believe a talking head, get a job, and something else? Like, you just think, it's like, you're the student, like, you shouldn't be coming back with this sort of stuff.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah, they're incredible movies, you know. Yeah, but yeah, you're right, man. I'm more into the sci-fi. But that's what made those movies great as well. Like, I don't think they take as much care. Like, when I was a kid, I watched RoboCop.
Yeah.
Loved it, right? But now that I'm an adult, I appreciate it on a higher level. And once I've read up about it, I was like, what made this movie so good? And it's because Verhoeven, he didn't treat it like just a dumb science fiction movie. This was his art, it was his vision.
Yeah.
He was like, RoboCop was meant to represent Jesus. So, you know the bit at the end where he kind of walks on water?
Yeah.
He said that was to represent him walking on water.
Wow.
He said that's why they made them get shot in each limb to shoot him to symbolise a crucifixion. So he was like this, you know, and that all came from someone seeing a poster of Blade Runner, and they're like, what about a robot cop? Like, so dumb, so stupid.
Yeah.
But then you get like a guy on it with a vision, and you're like, man, this is going to be the best, you know. And
yes, you're gonna change everything.
I forget the bad guy's name.
Red.
I forget his name, but he is the best bad guy because he's ugly.
Yeah.
He's not cool.
He's having fun with it too.
Yeah. He's like a balding guy with glasses, and he is so sick in it. Like, he's such an asshole.
Yeah, you don't expect him to blow away Murphy or anything like that. You don't expect him to be the ringleader of anything.
Also, I didn't realise, like, upon watching them again, was the violence involved.
It's extreme,
so much violence. Like,
That's one thing that gets talked about a lot when it comes to RoboCop is how much violence is in that movie. Like, how much blood and guts. And
It's not like it's at the the front door of it. Like, it's hidden in the movie, but it's when you see it, it's like, whoa, fuck! Like, Murphy's entire body is gone. Like, ripped apart. You don't see that shit really anymore. Like, treated seriously.
When did that come out? That was mid '80s, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
because it would have been like
could have been late '80s.
Maybe. It was like the early '90s when we got like RoboCop 3 and shit like that.
Yeah, that was.
RoboCop.
I remember when I was a kid, I liked RoboCop 2 more.
Yeah.
But then when I rewatched it, I couldn't even get through it because I think it was done by one of the guys who not directed Star Wars but was associated with it.
Okay.
So it's got this real weird kind of Indiana Jones, like this the soundtrack in it. Like, you hear like little bits of it and stuff.
Right.
Like, it's like the soundtrack's telling you, that kind of goofy soundtrack. You know, like with little comedy parts and stuff like that. And you're like, this is awful. Like, this is really bad. Yeah. But they're my like RoboCop's so good and they're so funny. Like,
Hey, can I just have your empties?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Much fresh.
thank you.
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
Yeah, that one's Total Recall's one of my favorites.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Like,
That's one of the best.
incredible, like just so funny.
Yeah.
And,
Like
the
so
whole-
many funny bits.
Everything's so fleshed out as well. Like, I believed everything that was on there. Like, it just, someone sat down and really figured that one out. Like, it didn't feel half-assed, that Total Recall. Even the the effects when they're outside on Mars, like the heads exploding and shit like that.
Reading up about that is incredible as well.
Yeah.
Like getting the animation was to do all the bits where the face is getting pulled out and stuff.
Yeah.
They had to redo it or something like that because it was they had to get this one guy who can do it.
Yeah.
That was the king of it, you know. That's what I liked about Arnie. There's this real good bit you can find on the net because Predator, also another one of my favourite films, right? If you look it up on YouTube, it's the best thing ever because they filmed a lot of it in the jungle before the Predator arrived. So the Predator, right, was meant to be Van Damme.
Oh shit.
So that was Van Damme's first big Hollywood role, right? Because he was quite a big guy, right?
Yeah,
And they unpacked the costume, and it's this big red, like it looks like something from Power Rangers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's like this. Yeah, it's really weird. This costume, and they unpacked it, and they're like, this is the worst costume. Like it's this big, like kind of, I don't know, crocodile-looking thing. It's
I keep picturing like a big red lobster or something.
It's like that, man. Yeah. It's exactly
I'm pretty
like
sure
that.
there was a kind of big red lobster villain in Power Rangers too that was just
Oh, for
just swinging side to side.
For sure. When there's like a sports monster and shit like that. Yeah, you know Power Rangers
Yeah, pretty
covered
much.
it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and apparently they got Van Damme out there, and he was just bitching about it the whole time. Like, this is fun.
I could see that. It's like,
This is awful.
how am I supposed to do the splits in this?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so Arnie, being like just the proactive guy he is, called the guy who does the effects did the effects for Terminator.
Right.
And he said, I know a guy, I'll call him. So they called him, and he was on a plane, and he was sitting next to I think he was sitting next to George Lucas.
I was gonna say he was just like turn this fucking plane around.
Yeah, on a plane. He was sitting next to him on a plane to Japan, right? And he was fascinated by Jamaican warlords at the time. Like the effects guy, he was really fascinated by it.
Holy shit, alright.
And then he was drawing some sketches and stuff. And then I think it was George Lucas, or it was either George Lucas or Steven Spielberg, one of those guys.
Yeah.
They said, offhandedly, you never see someone with jowls. Like, you never see a villain with jowls. I'd love to see jowls. And he's like, oh yeah, cool. That's a pretty funny thing. And then he kind of turned away so he wouldn't see it, and then grew the jowls, which became iconic in the film.
Yeah.
Those are stories I'm so fascinated with. And this kind of skinny guy in Predator, he was never meant to be in the casting, but he was a really good writer. So they wanted him to write and the scripts,
and develop it a bit more.
Yeah, exactly. So, but they were like, they knew they weren't going to get him over there to kind of do it. So they just said, oh, come over. Kind of had him as a side guy in the. And they said he never had to correct the script once. But he was in the movie, and he was a great character.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh man, that is so good.
But the guy they got to play Predator, so they said, okay, we're gonna have to make him. They said, okay, I'm gonna make him. The guy who designed him said, I want to make him 10 times bigger than Arnie. And Arnie's huge, right?
Yeah, that's a call.
So they got this really tall guy who played Harry in Harry and the Hendersons. Like this massively, like this
really?
8 foot tall black guy. So he's like a big skinny black guy, so he could, and they said also he caught the character emotionally or something like that. Like that's how much they cared about it. Like even though he was in a suit.
Oh really?
He said that, yeah.
I can it's like in Predator 2, it is kind of the whole like the Predator's motive is kind of revealed, and it kind of does carry on a bit. Like it's emotional, sort of not emotional, but like there's meaning behind it. Like when like he passes on the spear to Danny Glover or whatever he's Danny Glover.
Yeah.
So, it's a big thing. I'm like, that made me like Predator more than Aliens.
Yeah.
The two, Predator 2 won't be over.
It's so cool, man. It's the best costume ever. Like,
it's probably one of the best designs.
So much stuff going. I love stuff. Like, these are my favorite things about these movies. Is how bad they could have been. Like, if you got one thing wrong, it would have been so bad. Like, that would have been the worst. And we've seen it all before. You've seen them do one thing wrong.
Yeah.
Like when you walk that tightrope. That's my favorite comedy as well.
Yeah,
true.
Well, there's lots of that in some of the movies we've watched. So I wanted to let you know. I'm not sure if you've heard of this movie called Body Melt
Body Melt
from 1992.
Yeah, right. I have heard about that.
We'll wrap it up. We'll wrap it up in a couple of minutes.
No, that's fine, man. That's fine.
So Body Melt from 1992.
I thought it was 1990. Either one.
On 92.
Early 90s.
Yeah.
Early 90s. Same kind of thing. It's all kinds of fucking weird. There's some great special effects.
Yeah,
in it. Like
for an Australian horror movie, it's pretty decent.
So we get a couple of home and away people, a couple of neighbours people.
Yeah.
But the main person we get is Ian Smith, aka Harold Bishop.
Oh, right.
Who's in this horror movie as the bad guy.
Oh, nice.
It's just a shock.
You get to hear him drop the F-bomb.
Yeah, right.
You get to see him shoot a 9mm pistol as well out of a helicopter. This is the kind of movie that when it comes to the fine line between comedy and stuff, this is the perfect one.
Yeah, right.
You need to see this movie.
Like One Away Placenta. Like, wasn't it Lisa McCune? She's pregnant in it and she gets infected.
She dies pretty much almost instantly.
Well, she gets strangled by the placenta, doesn't she?
Yeah, she gets strangled by the placenta.
Then her stomach explodes. And
and then her stomach explodes. Yeah.
So nice and subtle. Very
You need
subtle
to check this movie out, Body Melt. I think that should be your next movie night.
Ah, cool, man.
If you get your hands on it, that should be your next movie night with you and your comedian mates, because you guys will fucking lose it. You're like, holy fuck, it's Harold!
Yeah.
And you'll lose it when he drops the F-bomb. Trust me.
Oh man, that's sick. I love those old Australian movies. I love Patrick. Have you guys seen Patrick?
Patrick's amazing.
So
Big
good.
fan over here.
Really, really scary. I love that good Australian horror, because there was no boundaries. It was fucked.
And Richard Franklin, he totally went into that as this is going to be a non-Australian film by hiring lots of British people, but you can tell that he's a huge fan of Hitchcock as well. The bit that made me, I don't know if you noticed or not, but when the I can't remember his name, but the female, her partner, her husband or whatever it is, gets locked in the elevator at the hospital.
Yeah.
You see all the piss and shit in the elevator?
Yeah.
I lost my mind. I'm like, thank you. Of course, you're going to take a shit if you're stuck in an elevator for 3 days. You're going to need to piss and shit.
Yeah.
I like to see that actually on screen.
Yeah.
This movie's, got
Yeah.
something going.
Pissing shit in an elevator.
I mean, it's getting scatological.
On that, 'cause I guess you guys saw Not Quite Hollywood, the documentary. Yeah.
It's a fantastic film.
There's a movie in that from that era called, and I bought it. It was about pig hunters that kidnap a girl and.
I see you said pig.
Razorback.
I was about to say Razorback.
Razorback, yeah, I'd seen Razorback.
We covered Razorback.
Yeah.
Razorback was the third episode we did or something.
I think it was called Hard Prey or something like that.
Hard.
I think you're right. It's definitely got something prey in it.
Yeah. Anyway, it was a really great movie, But there's actually an Australian comedian, from Sydney, Gary who plays the bad guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so Gary Who's is like this, I used to perform with him quite a lot, legendary guy.
Right.
He's such a great guy. I think he does cruise ships and stuff now. But he plays one of the bad guys, got overalls and...
Nice.
And it was just so funny watching him on a ute, because they tie this girl to the front of a ute and drive her around, and she escapes, and I think he gets killed by a big log. you know, and
That is so good.
yeah, man. Yeah,
It's
no.
kind of out of character appearances for an actor or a comedian or something like that. It's like, yeah, awesome. That's a good choice.
Yeah,
Totally
yeah.
different.
Yeah, but because that's what's missing, I think, from a lot of films is that awesome, bloody, like that awesome, just not give a fuck.
Yeah,
Let's go.
just go. Like, put pedal to the metal and just go for it. Like,
Yeah.
don't worry about what people are going to just go for it. Just,
Like Mad Max was so simple. Like the main character is so boring. And then
really
Charlize Theron is so great in it. You know, they've
Yeah.
got all these weird side characters, and that's what makes it so good.
I love John Howard in that.
Yeah.
He's got those big disgusting feet
Yeah.
and shit like that.
Yeah.
Man,
So weird.
So good.
Yeah.
as much as I agree with that, they did the exact same thing with Body Melt, and that did not work. They
true.
put the pedal to the... That did not work.
Oh, some don't work. Like
Yeah.
Razorback is just fucked. Like
Yeah.
that is
Music
just
by Ivor Davies from Ice House.
yeah.
Yeah, that one's a.
It needs to have some kind of flow.
That would have worked better with some Mike Patton vocals. Like
Yeah. Dead End Drive-In was all right, you know, but yeah, still once again missing some flow. I think, you know.
Yeah.
I think that was weird. I didn't mind. What is it? Snowpiercer. I thought.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen Snowpiercer either.
It's not bad, but it's once again, probably missing a bit of that.
Okay.
It has great flow, you know, like
Yeah.
really. It was a really good movie, you know, but
Yeah.
it wasn't like.
They looked a
I
bit
don't
too
know.
serious.
Yeah.
There's,
Yeah,
that
it
actor,
is.
What's his name? He's been like the host in a North Korean actor I really like, but I can never remember his
Oh, yeah,
fucking
the
name.
guy from the host and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
know exactly
Yeah.
what you're talking
And it's
about.
like,
Yeah.
He just carries whatever he's in, but like even that's like that didn't feel like the right movie for him.
Yeah.
Like, it felt a bit too
That
serious.
guy can pretty much play anything, can't he? Like,
To a degree, he's
horror, slapstick, like comedy, like that guy can play fucking anything, can't
What
he?
else was that guy in?
Yeah.
He was in a. Oh, damn it! I've forgotten the name of it. It was a Korean.
We were talking about it before.
Yeah.
It's not the guy. Was it the Korean guy who was just in G.I. Joe and he went nuts at Hollywood because he was in this film called Bittersweet Life, which is like one of my favorite films ever.
Yeah.
Bittersweet Life.
Yeah.
I've got my notebook.
You gotta watch it, man. It's a Korean gangster film. I reckon Asian gangster films are probably my favorite ones. Outrage with Kitano Takeshi. He is like,
Yeah.
man, he is the king. And knowing that he started out as a comedian, like he was working
Oh, really?
at security in a comedy club, because there they only have double acts at comedy clubs. They don't have. You got to have a double act, like a writing partner. Like it's over there, because you know everything back there has like a mad. It goes back to like medieval times.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
comedy is like a thing you study with another person. It's like calligraphy or something like that. Like that's what they.
Very serious kind of hardcore.
Yeah, so apparently he was doing security at a comedy club, and then one of the guys hurt himself, so he just stepped in, and then he started working in the comedy duo and at the club, and then he got asked to do a film, and the director had a heart attack or something like that, so he stepped in as the director.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And now he makes a film each year on top of doing he does a new comedy show each week on a Friday. Like, yeah, just a workhorse. He nearly died in a motorbike accident or something, and he's like, that's it. I think he studies martial arts and something like that. He had some weird, like cooking or something like that.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, he also makes his own, and all of his movies are awesome, like Brother. Like, you guys might have seen Brother.
Did he do Battle Royale? Is that
Battle Royale, yeah, he
Yeah,
did
I
Battle
thought so,
Royale, yeah, and Asian gangster films,
Yeah.
always the best, yeah.
Oh, man, that's insane.
Yeah, he does Outrage 1 and 2, and they're incredible because there's such honor in them. So if you have a sworn brother, then you don't kill them. Like,
Yeah,
they,
okay.
no matter what,
Yeah.
you know, and having all these rules that they've got to adhere by, and like, you know, they have there's a good Chinese one that's more political called The Election,
Yeah.
which is quite good.
Yeah,
And that's
okay.
that's all about this wooden baton they have to find, because when you're like the prime minister of the mafia, so of all the different factions, you have to carry this wooden baton. Like it's
Interesting.
yeah, it's really weird. And so all goes back to a tradition. Like you have a sworn brother, and
It's not something you often see in any kind of like crime thing. It's all about just getting rich or pulling a job or getting a score or whatever it is.
Yeah, of course.
but there it's all about like going behind people and maybe if you've got a sworn brother and you've got to go against him, you don't kill him, you make it so it looks like he was beaten quite badly or things like that. Yeah, it's really cool, man. And of course they kill themselves.
Of course, on by honor.
And it's so cool because it's like everybody dies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no happy ending.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's one thing that's important, to be honest.
You asked me like to think of some sequels and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
well, that's what I was going to ask you. We're getting close to the end.
Yeah.
Nick's got to head off to a show soon to get up on stage. You got 2 shows tonight as well, don't you?
Yeah, got to do the Gaelic Club and Powerbomb.
Powerbomb. Yeah. So, that's what I was going to say. Might as well finish it up with, is there any horror movie that you can think of that you'd want to do a sequel to? Do you think has enough potential for a sequel? There's that many horror movies out there
Yeah.
that already have a fucking million sequels that nobody gives a shit about.
Yeah, well, that's what I liked about the Asian films is they could actually do a good sequel. Like Ring 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I saw them before the Hollywood one.
Yeah,
And I
me
was
too.
like,
Actually,
so good.
surprisingly, me too.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, me too. Yeah.
And the number 2 was just as good, I'd say, nearly. Yeah. So it's hard to find a lot. Yeah, that's hard, man. A lot of them already have, and sometimes I don't like to taint a good film with a. It probably wouldn't be that good, but then again, the formula wasn't that complicated. I'd probably do a sequel to Land of the Dead, where it's got Simon Baker in there.
Sweet.
I think like
Awesome.
that Marauder, that vehicle he had.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he rides out into the snow,
Oh,
definitely-
yeah, that's a cool
Definitely the bomb with
idea.
that one.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Because it's in all the other of the Dead movies, it just kind of ended with like,
Yeah.
with the first one, everyone dies. Second one, Dawn of the Dead, they get away in a helicopter. Day of the Dead, they get away in a helicopter. Land of the Dead, it could have been something cool. It could have become like this whole series of them based on that one machine and just going from town to town, watching the zombies become.
I like
more
that idea.
sentient.
I like that idea
And
a
then
lot.
we get a found footage film called Survival of the Dead. That's fucking cool.
No good.
Bad.
It was really crazy because I just watched The Road, and I know it's not really a horror movie, but I love those apocalyptic movies, and it's what I was looking for in a movie. Like I just want to see the grim. I love apocalyptic movies, but it was just way too. Like it was fucking so tough to watch.
Yeah, it's a slog.
So heavy.
It's a
Man,
slog.
it's so heavy, but I loved it. I didn't like watching it, but I also liked. I
As
was
soon
like,
as you got to the end,
finally.
you took a deep breath. You're like, that was good.
Yeah, finally a movie that's just done the realistics.
I hated spending my time on it, but it did a lot for my soul.
Anything realistic I'm into.
There's,
Yeah.
there's a French one I always go on about, and it got remade, which I'm still disgusted about.
Yeah.
But Martyrs,
Oh, right. Never.
I thought you were about to say Inside.
we'll save that for another one. That's a fantastic film.
Martyrs.
Martyrs, yeah.
Yeah, right.
It goes about 3 hours, but it just changes pace so many times. But it's like, there's one scene without spoiling too much where it's a family sitting down for dinner, and then your protagonist that you saw beforehand just bursts in and kills all the children and all the family with a shotgun.
Oh, wow.
But it's a very realistic reaction to
Love.
it. And when I finished it, I was just like, oh, that was really fucking good. I need to lie down, pat my dog, say hello to my mum, like just get over it a bit.
And you'll never watch it again.
I can't watch it again.
Yeah.
I can't.
French films are just incredible.
Yeah.
Like, I forget which one I saw. La Haine. Incredible.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, La Haine. It's so good and it's funny, but it's fucking so dark. It is like, fuck.
They can really like
They
make you
re-
hate yourself.
Oh, man. Yeah.
They'll put something really heavy on it.
Well, that's what I like about Battle Royale. I reckon that's why it's one of my favourite movies. It's because not very many movies cross so many genres. Like it's it's a romantic film, yet horror, action, and there's a couple of comedy bits in it.
Yeah, it's like a high school
Yeah.
comedy at the same
Yeah.
time with students and all that.
Yeah, and I really, I like a film that does that. You know, I haven't seen the sequel actually.
Oh yeah,
To be my favourite movie, I haven't. Well, one of my favourite movies.
It's probably a good thing then. Like, it must be a good sign
Yeah,
if you don't
yeah.
want to watch the sequel.
Yeah.
But they usually do a good sequel, the Japanese. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but I should have a look at it actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks for
No,
having me.
man, Nick, thanks so much for coming
Yeah.
on, man. Well, so you got a couple of shows in Sydney this weekend. This is going to come out in time, but hit me up in the next couple of weeks, and I'll let you know when this comes out, and we'll plug your next shows
Yeah, thanks, man.
down in old Melbourne town.
Nothing big coming up. If you got any Newcastle listeners, it'll probably
Yeah, we do
September
actually.
29th.
Yeah.
I'll be.
September 29th.
I'm doing a podcast there, and then Brett Blake and I, who you also met in Coast.
Yeah, Brett
I
Blake.
think, I think we're going to do a one-off show in Newcastle on the 30th.
Really?
Yeah.
On the 30th. Actually,
Yeah.
that's a couple of days after my birthday. Newcastle ain't far from here, so I might head up.
Man, we would love to have you. It's going to be a pretty big party. We're going to do this big dog club. Like it's a
Oh,
podcast
really?
in Newcastle, and he usually gets some kind of celebrity like the Cheese TV guys or
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
something like that.
Well, man, okay, we'll plug that like crazy because it'll definitely be out by then. It'll
Okay,
definitely
yeah.
be out by then. Yeah,
So-
it'll probably be out around the 10th.
Yeah, cool.
So perfect. Yeah, we'll plug the shit out of that, man.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
sure.
No problem at all.
That's really exciting.
So that's a really good one, and then just doing I'm pretty sure I'm going to be doing stand up at the Lawrence Mooney and O'Loughlin, Fiona O'Loughlin battle at the
At the
Croxton.
Dum Dum Club,
Yeah,
I've got tickets. I'm
Yeah.
coming down.
Man,
I'm coming
so-
down,
What I'm
man.
missing?
No,
That's the show.
so there's a Sydney one at Opera House and this one in Melbourne.
Oh, right.
I've
right.
got tickets for that. That's exciting. I'll see you down there then,
yeah,
man.
man, yeah.
That's super
It's gonna be
exciting.
really exciting. Yeah.
Awesome. Cabo, thank you so fucking much for coming
Thank
on.
you, man. Thank you.
Honestly,
Anytime I'm
really
down.
appreciate it,
Yeah,
dude.
no problem, man.
Yeah,
Do a
awesome.
commentary or some shit like
Thank
that.
you, Cabo.
Hey, thank you. Thanks,
Cheers,
guys.
man.
So, guys, that was Nick Kappa,
Yeah. Wow. Chrome Doggy himself.
the Chrome Doggy himself. What an absolute legend.
Yeah, that was so much fun. We could have talked for hours.
Yeah, we really could.
He was almost late, I think.
Yeah, I think he was. Yeah. Well, I know that we hung around for a little bit longer and we walked into the show late. I know that.
Oh,
much.
yeah, we missed out on
So
a fair few acts, but you
yeah,
know,
a few acts at the start, but
the jug's not going to finish itself.
very good point, my friend. Very good point. So, you guys, you can follow Kappa at Kappa Flapper.
Wow.
I
That is
know,
amazing.
It's wondrous, isn't it? Isn't it wondrous?
Kappa Flapper.
So, like we said with Hamo, just keep an eye out on all of his socials.
Mm-hmm.
You could hear him plug a few things at the end of that episode.
Yep.
But if you're in Melbourne or just keep an eye out. Keep an eye on his Twitter feed.
If you see
That's the
Nick
best
Kappa
place to
pop
work
up,
it out.
go do it.
Do it. You will not be disappointed. You'll not be disappointed. And as you probably would have seen, we posted up his poster for Chrome Doggy
Oh, wow.
that we did mention in the episode. So
That is
just feast your eyes on that and
That's a beautiful piece of
soak it
poster
in.
work.
Just
That
just have it soak into you.
Mwah.
It is incredibly gorgeous.
If you like Arnie movies, you're going to get along with Nick really well.
Yeah. So just go honestly, and he's the most approachable guy as well. So if you want to say hello after a show, just go do it. He will not complain.
Yeah.
He's an absolute legend. So check him out. Well, I guess we got our plugs now. So from here on out, we're recording these so early that we're like,
We
what's
don't know
next?
what's going on.
What's next?
This is Stephen King month's done.
Yeah, that's behind us.
We need to take a little break.
Yeah,
That was fun, but a little bit tired.
yeah, that took it out of us. So we're
We
gonna
had to
slow
sit
down a
through some
bit.
Crap.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and just decide where the next step is. So we're gonna organize that for you guys, and we'll be back soon.
We might change it up a little bit. Who knows?
Yeah.
I've mentioned a couple of times in some of the other episodes. I've been binging some bad '90s, horror TV. So we might have a look at
we
something
might
like
touch
that.
something like that. So we'll see what's gonna happen
Who
now.
knows?
See what happens.
Yeah.
See how we travel. So if you guys want to get in contact, itmumpod@gmail.com. That's ITMOM. Pod, P-O-D, obviously. And at itmumpod on Twitter and Instagram. Hit us up on the Facebook. Private messages, some suggestions, hate mail. Let us know you're calling from inside the house.
All that good
All
shit.
that kind of stuff. hit us up. Suggestions, anything really, just hit us up.
Yeah,
tell us what we're doing good.
Good
Tell
suggestions.
tell us what we're doing bad. Just let us know.
There was a good suggestion the other day, which we'll talk about another time, but it was just like, our fans are spot on because I had that movie on my list, and it's like,
yeah,
you guys
exactly.
get it.
Yeah,
I like you guys.
So keep it up, guys. We really appreciate it. It means the world for you listening to all of our shit talking and waffling and
gushing about Pennywise and Tim Curry.
Exactly. Yeah. At least that's behind you now. So if you're getting pissed off with Stephen King month, fear no longer.
Because we'll be back with the Langoliers.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll leave it there. Thanks again for listening, and we will see you soon.
Yep.
Rest in horror.
Rest in horror, guys. No more float.